Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Models and Bottles, and I am here with Ali and Rick, the winemaker of Tantara, and we're doing a little wine tasting. I'm letting this all over up to you, Ali, because you're the wine experience.
Love my wine.
Um, what are we tasting today, Rick? Tell us.
So right now, it was kind of a toss-up between the Hilliard Bruce, which we will taste, and the Lindsay's. They're both from the Santa Rita Hills. They're both literally one of the most further western of all the vineyards in the Santa Rita Hills, which means they come from a more cooler climate. But I guess Hilliard Bruce wins out. It's close to my heart. A good friend of mine, or several friends of mine, also source the same fruit. The Lindsay's has an interesting story too. It was originally owned by Fess Parker, and then it was owned by Foley, the Foley family. So that's an interesting story as well. But the one I want to focus on is the Hilliard Bruce.
All right, let's get to it.
So we are drinking Pinot. So basically we have a 2018 Hilliard Bruce Pinot Noir. And for those more geeky orientated watchers, it's clone 777.
All
I
right.
could go into the clones, but I won't, not at this point.
Ali, are you ready for this?
Where's your glass?
I love my red wine. And I do want to ask you about the label of the horse on the Tantara wine.
Good
Good
lead-in,
question.
good lead-in. Okay, so basically the original owners of Tantara were both from Virginia, and one of them had they had a ranch, or I guess you'd call them a ranch or a farm. I'm not quite sure what they call them here in America, but in Australia it's called ranches or.
You're good, that's it.
So they bred horses, and one of the horses they did have lived to a very, very old age, and they were kind of concerned that the horse, they were looking to put it down. I don't want to.
Oh, shame.
They were looking to getting close to its I guess its extended life, and when it kind of the horse itself felt that it was going to be
Yeah.
taken to pasture, and he kind of disappeared, and then
Really?
the people forgot about him. The owners forgot about him, and he reappeared. And they saw that as a sign that this horse has a little more immortality. So that's kind of how I describe it. And that horse's name was Tantara. And I believe he lived to an age of 24, 25.
Wow, yeah, that's old for a horse because Ali and me, we are actually horse girls, and that's why we're so intrigued by your label.
Yeah. So this is the horse. It's had a few different iterations, but this is currently the existing one. It's kind of unique, a little
Beautiful.
full on.
It drew me in, I have to say.
Thank you.
As a horse girl, I was like, oh, I like that wine.
All right, Ali,
It's time to taste
are you
it.
ready for your first sip?
All right, let's do the smell test.
Well, first thing is the colour.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got.
I'm learning today.
It's beautiful cherry crimson. I mean, it's beautifully clear. No haze. It is a young wine. It's a 2018. We're in 2021 right now, so it's probably had about a year and a half in barrel, and obviously about another year in bottle. So still very youthful. I love this wine because it's demure. It's definitely more. I would describe it as being more. I mean, in terms of masculine wines, it's more Kerry Graham than John Wayne.
All right.
So that's got to. I mean, you've got the man with his buttoned up collar, whereas John Wayne, he's got dirt on his boots. So that's how I describe it. I think I like to, in my terms of winemaking, I make masculine wines, but there's masculine and then there's other masculines, and I'm saying
It's a more feminine masculine.
yeah, Kerry Grant versus John Wayne, I think really well.
Beautiful. All right. The moment of truth. I like the face you're making, Ali. Looks good.
It's very enjoyable. I see what you're saying because it's strong, but doesn't hit your palate too
No,
hard. Because
It's not overloading with It's not overloaded with tannins. It's basically, it still allows you to see the fruit, and it's kind of interesting when you put a wine together. And of course, we talked about blending. I've got to make a call when I put this wine together. Where's it going to be in 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year? And historically, Tantara have wines that last up to 20 years. We have those in our library collection, and so I'm always mindful of where this wine needs to be in the future.
Do you have a favorite year that you think that's the best year that they made wines?
Oh, 2010. 2010 was an incredible year across the board. I mean, there's certain vineyards and certain regions that probably are better than others, but across the board, I think 2010 really showed the the incredible strength of Californian Pinot.
You must be disappointed when you see the last bottle of 2010 and you're like, oh, where's that going? Like, it never comes back. That's the thing with good wine, right?
It's true.
When it's gone, it's
true,
gone.
Because I still have vintages of 2004 through to 2010 and other wines, but the 10s have a special place in my heart. It was the very first vintage that I was in control of actually bottling myself. We had some incredible vineyards, Pizzoni, Gary's, Buenaceto in the portfolio back in that time period. The wines are rock stars, and we actually did a lot of magnums. A magnum essentially is the double-sized bottle, and we're just starting to tap into those now, and they taste like they were made yesterday. They're very youthful, very bright, very fresh, still have great acidity. I'm not seeing any real turn of fruit flavors. Right now, they're at their zenith.
Exciting.
Beautiful. Well, I just heard behind the scenes that it's really rude to ask for a rating when the winemaker stand next to you. But ALY, what would you give this wine?
Here we go again. Don't let the cameraman know. I really like this wine. I would give it a solid 8. And it's because it's very balanced. I don't find it's too fruity or too much musk. I find it's very balanced in all the flavors, which is something I really like to see.
Well, Rick, I think you can be really happy with that. That's a pretty beautiful rating she gave you right there.
I think ALY's call was spot on. Bearing in mind this one is still very youthful, and it's still to get to that point. I mean, we talked about the 15 where everything had come together. Right now, in my mind, I can see this wine as being a little acid over here, a little tannin here, fruits here, but it's coming together. I can see this by 2024, 2025 really, really hitting the spot. And that's really where I want to make my wines, to be at their zenith point within 6 to 7 years of harvest.
Amazing.
Well, all by all, very positive. If you want to see more about our wine tasting, please subscribe and like our videos, and we'll hope to see you to our next episode of Models and Bottles.
Cheers.
Ching ching.